Hello, AOS fans.
Hello.
Lovely to see you again, or for you to see us again.
Probably not as lovely for them.
No. And today we have something new for you. You can't quite see the scenery down here, but today we are playing Frostgrave, which some of you may have heard lots about. It's a very popular game. It's a skirmish game, and we thought it would be interesting to try out ahead of trying some AOS skirmish, and in between deciding we might like to do that. Warhammer Games Workshop announced that they were going to release their own skirmish rule, so it will be interesting in the longer term to compare the two. But today it is Frostgrave.
It's all about the Frostgrave.
This is only our second game, so we are learning the game too. So hopefully you'll get a flavour for how the game works and learn it with us as we go along. If you're an expert, do comment if we've made any mistakes. Our first game went pretty well, I think. On balance you won.
I think I took more of your guys out, but I think treasure-wise we've got the same amount. I think that's where it really counts, because if you're playing a campaign, you want to make sure that you've got the resources coming in to replace your guys that get lost and building up all your magic.
Yes, that was a one-off game. Tonight is our first game of our campaign, and I don't know if you felt the weight of that on your shoulders when you were creating your warband. I'd
like to say yes, but no.
You see, I classically, as you may have, if you've ever, well, you probably haven't seen the outtakes of our videos, but I classically suffer from what's called analysis paralysis, and so I had this warband is now, we're going to be playing it for 8-9 games, something like that, and I really want to get the right wizard, and I want to get the right people in the warband. And the right spells, exactly. Yeah, that was a bit. I felt the pressure of that. But
I've one of them. I have 3 of those. I have 5 of these.
Yeah, because you had your theme as well already, didn't you? Cause Pete,
your repeats and models.
True to form is playing an undead sort of necromancy type wizard with an undead warband. One of the good things about Frostgrave, if you haven't played it before, is you can play it with any miniatures.
It even says in the rules, you can get miniatures from anywhere. We do our own, but you can get them from loads of other places. So there's no what's the one I'm trying to think of? There's no need to use their models. They're pretty free and easy going.
Which I like. I have to say, we play this game for fun, and you should be able to use whatever you want. Really, I think the best rule set with the best miniatures is what you want to do. I'm not saying Frostgrave is the best rule set. It might be, but if you want to play AOS with some not Games Workshop figures, then who am I to stop you? Games Workshop not that keen on that, unsurprisingly, but
they just need to up their game with their models.
Exactly, they do
zombies.
Good models.
Zombies.
What's the zombies that I was thinking of?
Yeah, mantic zombies are considerably better.
Yeah, so but I like the idea that I might use different models. I would like to sort of use the SWA Shadow War Armageddon scenery and do a futuristic one.
It'd be like a futuristic wasteland after a massive holocaust or something that destroyed everything off.
Pete won't be the slightest bit interested in this, but I might make him play anyway. Those of you who follow your game news, Fantasy Flight Games announced that by the end of this year they're going to appoint an emperor for Imperial Assault. So I would love to have my wizard and apprentice, because this game has wizards and apprentices in it, and have the Emperor and Darth Vader, or the Emperor and Luke, or something like that, and have a Star Wars themed
Warband.
Frostgrave Warband on some Star Wars scenery. Now that would be cool.
That'd be pretty funky.
Yeah. So that's a long-term ambition of mine, and we'll probably never get there, but keep watching in case we do. So a quick rundown of this. Basically, it's no more than 10 models. At least to start off with, we haven't played in the campaign rules. So
I don't think you can go past 10 models even later on.
Just a game is 10 models you can pick from your warband.
I don't know.
Anyway, this game, no more than 10 models. Everybody is basically a wizard who then hires their hirelings, their warband. It's strongly recommended you have an apprentice, because they're like a weaker version of yourself, and they cost 200 gold crowns. You get 500 gold crowns, and the apprentice takes costs 200, and then everything else costs between sort of 20 and.
I think even the hounds might be 10.
I think they have 10. So, I wasn't really counting that.
10 about 100.
If it's got 2 legs, then it's between about 10 and 100. So you can fill a warband as small as 5, which having played that one game, wouldn't have thought was a very good idea.
No.
Because the aim of the game is to find the treasure inside the ruined city of Frostgrave.
and then get out with it.
And get out as fast. So if you've got any, I think there are normally 6 treasure tokens on the table. So if you've only got 5 models, not even 5. If you've only got 5 models on the table, then it's going to be tough. So I think we will set up and play. I don't think there's any much more for me to keep talking. Much as I like to keep talking, I think we should stop.
Yeah, we shall crack on, and we'll run through our groups in a minute, and then we'll get on with the battle report. Cheers. Okay, guys. So as promised, here's one undead warband. I've got my main wizard here, my Ceremancer, and his apprentice necromancer standing behind him. I haven't quite finished painting him yet, but I'm now intending to do some stuff with him, so he will get some paint soon. I then decided to go with a knight. They cost 100 gold coins. They're quite expensive, but you see my white king here is taking up his knightly duties again. And behind him 2 archers. Now they're about 50 gold coins each, so that's already 200 gold coins in the hole for me. So I spent the last 100 on 5 thugs, which are 20 gold coins apiece. Pretty bog standard guys here, and I'm hoping they will be able to pretty much go wherever I need them and just back up my other main characters as required. So that is my initial start of the season, start of the campaign. Frostgrave Undead Army.
So here's my warband, guys. I'm trying to give truth to the fact that you can really use any models you like in this game. So over here we've got some classic Empire from Warhammer and Games Workshop. That is a 3 thugs. Now I've gone for a little bit of a different setup to Pete, trying to bring the changes a little bit, try and bring some tactical intelligence to the game. Will probably fail miserably. Down here we've got a couple of Bretonians, archers, so 2 archers. So more still Games Workshop, we're a slightly different scale. We've got, I think that must be Pippin and Frodo there. They're my 2 thieves. So the thieves are 20 each and the thugs are 20 each, so that's 100 points. The archers are 50 each, so that's another 100 points. So where have I spent another 100? Over here on this chap, who is, of course, Aragorn, playing a ranger today, as is his wont. So he's a ranger. They are slightly more effective fighters than thugs and slightly more effective bowmen than bowmen. So looking forward to using those. He's 100. And then over here we've got my wizard. Not sure, I can't even remember where that model came from. But he was my D&D character many moons ago. So there he is there. Look at his full resplendent. I'll show off his cloak there. Look at that. Good blend in there. And finally, Robin from the Batman miniatures game. I've only got 1 wizard, so he is the ultimate apprentice, the boy wonder. So thank you for that, Pete. And so that is Robin there, and that seems fitting since that's me. So there you go. That is my army. Whether it will change over the season, we'll see. Looking forward to seeing how it works. Okay then, I had a slight personnel change since we started. My son, I forgot, wanted me to play with his lizard man Star Priest, or Seraphon Star Priest. So he's been subbed in for Robin. So I'm really disappointed about that because he's taller, so Peter will be able to shoot him more easily.
Poor Robin, always bridesmaid.
And so I just thought I'd run through who my wizard is. This guy is Matela the Magnificent, who's an illusionist.
He's rather magnificent.
And there's a couple of things we probably ought to point out about Frostgrave before we go any further. Yeah. Everything is driven by one of these.
Ooh, what's that?
This is an icosahedron. Otherwise known as a D20.
And your rolling for this game has already been well and truly established.
There we go. Right, there we go. So we want to explain the mechanics as we go. But it's a D20 driven game. Which we found quite refreshing on our first playthrough.
No D6 around here.
And the other thing is, when you pick your wizard, you have to pick a school of magic, not dissimilar to the old Warhammer magic rules. And there are various schools. I'm not going to go through them all now, but there's a soothsayer and a witch and a necromancer and an illusionist. So I could go through them all, but I'm not going to. But I've picked an illusionist for tonight. Now the thing with the magic is then you have, much like the old Warhammer, I think you used to have your magic one, and there's one opposite, which is like you really don't like each other, mustn't meet kind of thing. And so the illusionist is opposite the elementalist, so I can't cast any big fireball type spells. Which again, my son was berating me in the car. I just picked him up from scouts, berating me that I hadn't had the elementalist and had fireball. So I've picked an illusionist for my wizard, and so I get 3 illusionist spells, and I picked teleport, glow and invisibility, and then you pick 3 from your aligned schools of magic, and I've picked heal from thaumaturge, push from sigilist, and awareness from soothsayer. Now they are cast at a slightly less less favourable odds than if you were a proper one of those schools. So I cast my illusionist ones more easily than that school, and then the aligned schools, and then the aligned schools even more easily than the neutral schools. You can pick 2 from the 5 neutral schools, and so there are 10 schools altogether. And I've picked enchant weapon and familiar, which is a witch spell. An enchant weapon was an enchanter spell.
Enchanting.
And actually, Pete, while I've got you here, the witch spell I've chosen is actually out of game. So I'm going to attempt to cast that. It says a spellcaster may attempt to cast this spell before any game. If successful, he gains a familiar in the form of a small creature of his choosing. A spellcaster with a familiar gains +2 health. If the spellcaster is ever reduced to his last point of health, the familiar is destroyed. At the start of the next game, the spellcaster will revert to his normal health unless the familiar spell is successfully cast. This additional health may take the spellcaster over his usual maximum for the stand.
Bit of a plate of armour there.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and cast that. Now it is only a neutral spell, so it is +4 difficulty. Now the difficulty of this is 8.
So 4 + 8 is
12.
That's maths.
So I roll for the wizard first, needing 12 to cast familiar. Is 9, so I failed. And I'll need 14 for the apprentice, and that's jumped out of the box, but it's 16.
He cast it.
So he is successfully cast.
I assume. Now another thing in this game is that if you fail to cast a spell, you fail to cast it by a certain amount, you actually take wounds, but I assume that in pre-game castings that isn't the case.
Yes.
So we just checked up the rules, and no, Robin doesn't take any wounds for failing to cast a spell, but you also can't empower it, so it's just a case of you pass or you don't, there's no negative
Yeah,
effects.
empowering is a thing you can do in this game where you can actually use your... what is it?
You take wounds and you add that
life force basically to
Yes.
make your spell better. So you add that to your dice roll, and you can do that after you've rolled. So if you fail by 1, you can boost it by using a wound to pass it.
to actually cast a spell.
Yeah.
And in some cases you would lose a wound to stop yourself taking lots of wounds, because
Yeah.
the worse you fail the spell, the worse, more damage you
Pretty
take.
chronic. We worked out that's quite hard to do.
Yes.
The other thing is when you're casting a spell, if you do chronically fail, then you can take damage, and that is quite an unusual
Yes. Normally,
thing.
failing to cast spells. Although in other systems, namely GW systems, usually there is some
Sometimes you get
negative
sucked
there.
into the void, couldn't you?
Yes, there are. You can take damage from. Although in AOS, there is no downside to failing a spell.
No.
Although some races have abilities which boost spells, and if you then fail, it can take damage, like Skaven.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, casting spells is fairly risk-free in certain other systems, whereas it is not in this one.
Definitely not. Most things in this game actually aren't risk-free.
No, makes it a lot more brutal.
So looking at our team here, or my team here, I've got my illusionist here. This is what we were talking about, seemed like about 20 minutes ago. My illusionist here, he's backing up his 3 thugs. They've got their eyes on this objective here. This is a treasure thing. I don't know where the treasure must be in that glowy bit there. Basically, in this game, you collect the treasure and then you have to take it off the board. And it is heavy, so it's hard to take it off the board. You move slower. Then up here, hoping to get some shots off, I've got my apprentice and 1 archer and 1 ranger, hoping to pepper the board.
Oncoming forces.
Yeah, and win some points. And then down here on his own, I've got my thief, who's going to basically go for that and run off. And then over here, all on their own, a bit low on their own, so it's an archer and another thief, again hoping to make a fast raid with a bit of covering fire for this one. So my objectives in this one is this one, this one and this one I should be hoping to take. And I think, well, if I take those 3, I will consider it happy and probably let Pete have the other 3, which is an interesting thing about this game. It's a balance between sort of taking what you need and going for more.
And fighting off your
yeah.
opponent, stopping them from getting them instead.
So we'll see how we go. So Pete, how are you lined up?
So my guy, I've gone for a pretty standard necromancer theme here, and so for my necromantic spells I've picked Bone Dart, nice offensive spell, Raise Zombie and Steal Health. I've then also taken from the allied schools, I've picked Petrify from my Chronomancer school, Poison Dart from the Witch school, and Leap from the Summoner school. And then of my neutral schools I could take 2 more spells, and I've gone with Elemental Shield from my Elementalist and Mind Control from Soothsayer. So a nice weird little pick there. See if any of those. I've got a few damaging spells and a few utility spells. I could cast Raise Zombie now, so I'm not going to cast Raise Zombie yet. I'm going to leave that till I get further into the game. So my setup down here, I've got 2 of my thugs with my main wizard and my knight. Going to hopefully grab this objective Toot Sweet, and then I'm going to maybe try and get over towards that one over there, depending on how quickly I can shift it. I've then got down here my apprentice with 3 more thugs, and hopefully run around this way, try and get this objective over here, and I need to send someone up to the tower to get that one up there. And then over here, don't know if you can quite see them, but I've got one of my archers here and another archer on the level below, giving themselves quite a decent range of fire across the board to try and pin Robin down a little bit. And that is the setup. So just to recap the objectives, there's one here, one here, one here, one over here, one hiding behind there, and one in the forest here. So fairly central, fairly in the middle with a couple of easy grabs on either side. And now it's over to turn 1. So a little bit like some other game systems, the beginner of each turn is determined by dice rolls. So, Robin?
Oh, 11.
11. And I get 14. So I'm going to go first.
The game is divided into phases, and the first phase is the wizard phase. So Pete will have his wizard phase, he won the initiative, and then I will have my wizard phase. And when you activate something, you can activate your wizard in particular, or your apprentice. When you activate them, anything within 3 inches,
Up to 3
up
things.
to 3 models, is activated and can be moved at the same time. So Pete will probably be able to move all 3 of these.
Yeah.
However, these guys over here will have to wait until the very end, after the wizard and after the apprentice phase. And I'm in a similar situation. I'll put these guys up here, so these can be activated. These down here, and these guys over here are going to have to wait till the end. So, Pete, over to you.
Right. So I'm going to start with casting a spell. I think. No, I'm not. I'm going to start with moving. So my thugs all have a pretty standard move of 6 inches. So I'm going to move this guy up to here, 3 inches, and he's going to stop there because his next. Another thing in this game is it's all based off of you have two actions when you activate them. So they have to all take their first action and they all take their second action, and your actions can include moving, a second movement at half the normal move, fighting, shooting, casting spells, picking up or dropping treasures and things like that. So he's going to move up there, and that's going to be the end of his movement. This guy's then going to move forward 6 to here. My knight's also, now he's a bit slower for some strange reason, he's going to move up.
Heavy armour.
Yeah, it could be clanking along, so he's going to clank over to here, and my wizard is going to move around here to try and keep some cover between him and the archers on your side.
So that's your first.
That's my first.
And you have to do them, you do all your first ones and then all your second ones, don't you?
Yes. As far as I'm aware, I think that's how we played it last time as well.
Yeah, so if you do a group activation, Pete's just pointed out, if you do a group activation, you have to move first. So if you don't move, you don't want to move, so you can't activate, shoot, and then move. But if you wait until the miniature has its own turn, then it is allowed to shoot and then move.
So you can't shoot twice, you have one of your actions, you must have at least one move, and then you can shoot with the other one. Of course, if you have something that gives you a third action, there's nothing stopping you against shooting them or anything like that.
Exactly. So it is a little bit complicated, I think, to start with, but actually it becomes very intuitive very quickly.
So that's my first action for each of those. So my second action for each of those, this guy's going to pick up the treasure.
Oh.
This guy is going to... He's not actually going to move because I've got intentions for him. My knight is going to... I'm not going to move him either. In fact, before I do either of these two guys, I'm going to cast a spell, or attempt to cast a spell with my wizard.
Okay.
So my wizard is going to attempt to cast Leap.
Ooh.
So Leap is a summoner spell, so I get a +2 to the casting roll, and the casting roll is 8 normally, so that boosts it up to 10. 7. Boo. So I failed, but I don't think I failed between 1 and 4, so I take no damage.
Yes, you have to fail by more than 5 in order to have some damage.
Yeah.
It's a 7. I focused in there.
So I think that's the end of my first turn. End of my wizard's first turn.
Wizard's first turn.
And now that means it's over to Robin. So Robin, it's your
I'm
wizard's
going to activate my wizard.
Wizard, activate.
So I'm actually going to do a group activation, as you might have expected. And so I can do...
I did not see that coming.
Is it 3? It's not a wizard
Up
and
to
3, it's
3.
3 altogether.
The wizard and 3
It's
others.
wizard and 3 others, okay.
It's the rule of 3.
Okay, so in that case I'm going to activate all these thugs, and then they're going to go over here 6 inches. So one thing we did realise in the last game is that actually you want to try and avoid the rough terrain as much as you can, really.
And it's also a balancing act of keeping all your guys
near
each other so that they all activate together. Or else they have to wait till the end of the turn, as you'll see. So, second action.
Second action, so I think the wizard probably would have cast something. He's going to cast Awareness, which is a Soothsayer spell, which is one of my aligned spells, so it's +2.
That's the casting
To the value, so it's a casting value of 8, and well, I'll cast it and I'll tell you what level I cast. 15, so I have passed. So this allows the spellcaster to add 1 to his Warband's initiative roll for the rest of the game.
Curses.
Merciful castings of this spell have no effect. Okay, so that was the spellcasting thing, and then and then these guys are going to move again. So they move 6, don't they? So
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a second move as your second action, you only move half the distance. So thugs move 6, so they only move another 3. So it's my turn.
It's your turn now to activate your apprentice.
Okay, so my guys down here, they all need to move up now. So they're all just going to, for their first action, they're all just going to move. So my thugs have a move of 6, and my apprentice has a move of 6 also. So 16 just down here. Punch the scenery, stupid scenery, and everybody's just going to shift as fast as they can around this way. So that was an incredibly unexciting first action in that apprentice move phase.
Was that it? Was that they did? That was their first.
That's their first action. So I'm just trying to work out what to do with their second action, because I think I'm going to try and cast something again with my apprentice. I'm going to try and cast Leap again. So that is a casting level of 8. He's a apprentice which adds 2, and it's also one of my aligned schools of magic, which adds another 2 to that. So it's 8 plus 4. So I need a 12 to cast Leap. 15.
You've done it. What does Leap do?
So Leap, I target somebody, and they can make an immediate 10-inch move in any direction, including vertically. It's not hindered by terrain, and that's pretty much it. The target may take no other action this turn after I've done that. So I'm going to leap one of my thugs up onto here.
Nice.
Boink! And then he's going to start running away with that treasure next turn, hopefully. And the rest of the moves for the other guys are just going to be another standard movement, so 3 inches here. So this guy's going to go, and he's going forward as well. And that is the end of my apprentice's phase.
For my apprentice phase, I'm going to activate, and I'm going to activate these guys. He's actually within. Does he count within 3 inches, or is he not within 3 inches? He's right down there.
So we're going to assume that the guy down the bottom here is not within 3 inches of his apprentice because there's a good 6-inch drop from the edge there. So if you just look straight down, then obviously he would be 3 inches away, but as there's 3 dimensions in this, we've elected to say that no, he cannot.
So I'm going to cast a spell with my... I'm not going to move because I don't need to move. So I'm going to cast a spell. I'm going to enchant weapon on my ranger, which is one of my neutral spells. So it's +4, so it's 12, and then it's -2 to the dice roll because
you're an apprentice.
This is my apprentice, so I need
14.
14. Isn't it? Yes, I'm not quite sure. There's a subtle difference, isn't there? -2 to the dice roll or 14. I don't know whether
I don't think it makes it.
I don't know whether
Net
there are
results the
circumstances
same,
where it does. But 16.
The apprentices are doing better.
Yeah, so his weapon is enchanted.
I don't like that. What's it do?
Enchant weapon. The target is given a temporary magic boost. +1 fight bows, which is on his bow. It's +1 shoot instead, but they don't count as magic weapons. So there you go. Or I can enchant 1 arrow or quarrel. This goes +1 shoot and counts as a magic weapon, but only for the next shot. Well, I'm going to do it for the. I don't want a magic weapon, so I'm going to do it for the rest of the. For the rest of the game. Yes, I'm going to do it for the rest of the game.
So all of his shots now are +1.
Second action, and I think he's going to shoot the skeleton over there. Yeah.
So he's going to shoot at one of these guys here.
No, this one.
Oh, this guy here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So unlike other systems where shooting is just all done by the attacker and then saving throws are taken by the defender, this is still a roll-off, an opposition roll, where I roll a d20 and add my fight stat of my thug, which is +2, and as I'm in light cover I add another +2 to my roll that effectively increases my defence. Robin rolls a d20 and adds his ranger's shoot stat, which is +2. He then also adds another +1 because he's got an enchantment on his weapon from the spell. So I add a d20 +4 and Robin's d20 +3. Winner basically decides what happens next. So Robin?
A poor 9.
Oh, and 13. So I beat you, so effectively the shot just doesn't connect.
Yeah.
And no further dice rolls required.
No.
So, and the other archer here is going to shoot at my guy over here. I've kind of realised he's really out in the open. I need to do something about that. He's just within the 24-inch range. So okay, so I roll d20 +2 for my archer's fight, and Robin adds 2 to his.
A 2.
Now, 6, so I win again.
Yeah. Well done, lads. Good work.
The dice rolls have begun. Now in this game we decided after our last game that even if you do beat your opponent, you still want to roll high to be able to cause damage, and we'll go into that once we get later on. Yeah. Okay. So that's the apprentice's turnover. So now it goes on to basically any other business, and all your troops, all your soldiers who haven't been near a wizard or a apprentice now get to do them.
And you do all yours and I do all mine, don't we? Don't swap.
Now my first action has to be a move. I think I do need to move these guys because they're both kind of really out in the open right now. Well, I put them in what I thought was a really good place, and it's really not a good place.
Well, I found that, but at least you only put 2. I put 3 out there.
You're also in cover.
I'm in cover, yes, but I've actually pretty much taken them out of the game. I've forgotten the opposed shooting isn't actually.
It's not as lethal, but
no. Mind you, it's not as risky either, because as we found out last time, combat is.
That's true.
Combat is brutal if it goes wrong.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him over this way 5 inches.
Okay.
I still think I'm just outside your 24-inch range.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So stand right on the edge, maybe.
Yes, but if you do that, you open yourself up
So
to return fire. So
and falling off.
Yep. And my other guy's not going to move. He's just going to return the favour to your archer and shoot back in. But you get +6 to your roll because you're in heavy cover.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to shoot your ranger because.
Can you see more of him?
I can actually see him better than your archer.
Okay.
Only because your ranger is a slightly juicier target. So your ranger adds 6 for heavy cover and his fight stat, and I add just 2 for my shoot stat. So 20 +2, 20.
Very nice.
12. 18. So I've beaten you. Now
20 is really brutal.
Yeah, 20s, and this is where, as I said just now, you want to use. You want to get a high number when you beat somebody, not a low number. Because now what we do is, as I've won, we take my score of 20 and we take off your armour value, don't we?
11.
Which is 11, and that's how many wounds you take.
Which is 9.
So 9 wounds already.
So he goes down to 5 wounds.
5 wounds already.
Yeah.
So Robin's got 3 guys left to activate over here.
I'll activate the thief over here first.
Who's going to come sprinting across to go and grab that?
Stop there and
thieving little what's
he picks it up he picks it up on his second activation, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Second action.
Second action. So this guy's going to run to here. Is this difficult to get down?
No, I don't think so.
No.
So he's doing both his moves.
Well, he's going to go 7.
Oh, he's a thief. They move 7, don't
yeah.
they? Skittery little what's
And then 3.5 today.
3.5 today. Yep. So. We're meant to do all the first actions for one and then all the second actions, but it's easier in this kind of situation to just do it all in one go because it doesn't make much odds.
6 to there.
So Robin's being extra cunning, just trying to hide him away in there a little bit more, just to get some shots in at my poor guy here, whilst he pretty much stands out in the open and goes, "Shoot me!" So second action for him is going to be shooting, I guess.
He's
Rob.
going to be shooting, yes.
Sorry.
So I'm going to shoot my archer over here that we just moved, and he gets a plus. No,
Yep, I get +1.
you get +1 to your dice. That's
Yes,
right,
because it's
I
effectively-
moved. It's like a moving and firing
Yep.
thing, and then you're not in any cover.
No.
My shoot stat is +2.
So yours is D20 +2, mine's D20 +3.
Okay. 13. 4.
Boom! So you've beat me.
Yep.
So your score is 13 overall. My archer's armour is 10.
11.
So my archer's armour is 11. So you did 30. Well, you scored 13 in total. Minus my 11 means I've taken 2 damage. So that's the end turn 1. No casualties as yet, but as you can see, it doesn't take much to take somebody out if you get a really good roll. And I think if you roll a natural 20 as well, your damage is doubled. So it's pretty much guaranteed you can take someone out if you roll a natural 20. But that's the end turn 1, and now we have the all-important initiative roll to see who gets the next turn, and you get a +1.
I do get a +1.
This is where you find your +1, does you no benefit
No,
whatsoever.
exactly. 9.
9.
Oh.
20! Natural 20. That means I get 2 goes in a row, doesn't it?
No.
Damn. Okay, so beginning my next turn, I think no, he's just in 3 inches still. So first I've got my group of guys over here that I want to move.
He's not in 3 inches of a wizard.
Oh, that's a good point. I was moving 3, yes. So I've only got these 3 guys to move this time because he's strayed off the path a bit.
Yeah.
Down the
That's
path.
an interesting thing about this game actually, is you want to keep your models together, but if you cast, if your wizard casts and your men are running for the objectives, they very, very quickly get out of range.
Yes. And then they lag behind in the process.
Yeah. There's an interesting conundrum in the game.
So I'm going to move my thug down to here. And my knight, who only moves 5, can sort of clank along. He's about there. He's slightly further in, but I can't quite fit him in the base. And then my mage is going to move over this way a little bit. So that's the first action. Then the second action, my thug is he's gonna move again. I guess he's gonna move around this way, 3 inches, and my knight is gonna sort of clank through onto the other side there. Clank, 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 clank.
What's your wizard going to do?
He's gonna cast a spell.
Oh,
There's a surprise.
funny that.
The question is, what spell? So I can't really cast any of my damaging spells, but I can try and cast Leap again, which I quite like. So I'm going to try and cast Leap. So that's a casting value of 8, and it's a summoner spell which is +2, so I need a 10 onto my spell casting roll. 2! No, that's quite a failure.
Ooh.
So
That means damage.
that means I take some damage. So just
So,
yeah,
2. What was the casting roll? 10.
10.
So 8.
So I was 8
It's
out.
just-
So
just
between
1 damage,
5 and 9, you take 1 damage.
1
yes.
damage.
So my wizard not only fluffs the roll, but also manages to wound himself a little bit into the bargain. So he's down to 13. So that was great. He didn't do anything, and he stubbed his toe trying to cast a spell.
Right.
So on to Robin's turn.
Okay. So I'm going to activate the wizard and these two thugs. 3 inches. Make contact.
So your thug there is in
I
base
can't move.
contact.
Yep. I can't move him yet.
No. One thing that's worth pointing out is when you grab your treasure and you want to run off, any table edge will do. So Robin just has to leg it from here across there to get off the board. I made the mistake in the last game, assuming he'd have to run all the way back to his table edge, but he doesn't actually have to do that. So yeah, lessons learned there. Yep. So the first action that the wizards have to do when they're in group activation is they have to move.
Up to here. I'm going to cast Glow on the knight.
That's obviously much worse than it sounds.
It's an illusionist spell. So he is an illusionist, so I just need 10 or more. A 6.
That's a
So
no.
I failed, and there's no point in boosting it. So I'm not going to.
So he's moved and picked it up, the treasure. He's run off over the side there, and he tried to cast and failed. So now it's on to my apprentice. So my apprentice is going to activate these two guys with him here. First guy's just going to move up to the treasure. In fact, he's going to move up to the treasure because he's a bit further away. And then this guy is going to move his 6 around to here. Just like there. And he's going to move up his 6 as well. Up to about there. There we are. And that's their first moves done out of the way. So for their second moves, this guy, or their second actions rather, this guy's going to pick up the treasure. Not really sure he's going to pick that up, but he's going to give it a good go. And this skeleton over here is going to move up. My thug, should I say? He's going to move up another 3 over here. No, just a bit there. And then my apprentice now. I'll try and work out what my apprentice can see and do. So I think it's going to be your archer that I'm going to go for up on the top there.
The ranger or the archer?
Well, the ranger's already hurt, isn't he? So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to try and go for the ranger.
Okay.
So my necromancer apprentice is going to attempt to cast bone dart on your ranger over there. 8 normally, and I get +2 to it because I'm a apprentice. 4, no, and he takes a wound. That is my apprentice phase over and done with.
My apprentice phase. I'm going to activate this group here.
So there's a bit of a question mark here, is that if you do a group activation, it says that your first action must be a move, but that then automatically gives you a negative to your shooting, even if you choose to not actually move your model. So we're playing it at the minute that if you're going to take your first action, it has to be a move, but if you're an archer, you can choose to stand still, forego your first action, and then your second action is a shoot without any negative effects. We'll check the errata, but if we're wrong, do let us know in the comments below.
Okay, so with that, none of them are going to move.
Yep.
He's actually going to cast Heal, which is a thaumaturge spell.
So heal is a 8 cast. It's one of your allied winds of magic, as it were. So it's +2, and apprentice is another
19.
19. So that's pretty much a cast regardless of what it is.
So
What's
he
that
gets
do?
5 hit points back.
So your ranger gets 5 hit points back.
Yeah.
So he's back up to 10.
More than that. Less than that.
Oh, 9.
No, 10. You're right.
10. So we go. So he's up to 10. So he's feeling much better now.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to shoot with my ranger at your guy down there.
Oh.
So I don't think he's got any cover. No, I don't think he's got any cover really.
Probably not. It's pretty much out in the open there.
So I get +3.
And I get +2. So Robin +3.
10.
13, and my +2, 16.
So again, the ranger doesn't earn his crust.
So he's also going to join the ranger in trying to pincushion this thug down here. So +2 each. 10.
8, 10.
14.
Not earning their money today, my archers.
And that's the end of the apprentice phase. So it's now on to the all other soldiers, basically.
Yeah.
The soldier phase. So I've got 3 4 soldiers outside. I've got this guy here, and he is going to just start running backwards. Now when you're carrying treasure, your movement is halved. So he moves 6 normally, so he's going to move 3 the first time, and he's going to move pretty much just another inch the second time because he can only move half of his half. Half, yeah, quarter even, as they like to call it sometimes in the trade. My other skeleton is also going to, now I'm not sure how he's going to get down. Didn't really think this through. Did not think this one
Can
through.
he leap when he has the treasure?
It doesn't say you can't.
Okay.
The only problem is it has to be line of sight. So, I think he cannot be seen at all then. So he's going to have to move and pretty much stand on this back section of wall and hope to hell that somebody casts a spell to get him the flip out of there before he gets pincushion just standing there like that. Although with your shots he's probably good for another day or two.
Yeah.
Okay, on to shooting, because I've got these 2 archers over here. Neither of them are going to move, they're both just going to shoot. My first guy's going to shoot at your thief down there.
Okay, he's got any cover or not?
No, sadly he's out in the open. So the thieves get +1 and I get +2 from my shooting side. Not very good. 6, 8.
11.
He's all
Wow,
right.
there's some terrible, terrible shooting going on up here.
So I'm going to shoot with my other archer here over at your ranger again.
Okay.
So again I get +2 and you get +6.
Okay.
So +2 for me. 19, 21.
16.
Oh.
22. Phew.
And that is the end of my soldier phase.
You've got 3 soldiers here, haven't you? You've got
3
2 over
soldiers,
this side.
This guy here. So this guy first, actually, is going to move. Are we going to say that this
So his first action is
produces
picking it up, isn't it?
Oh yes, no, 'cause he didn't pick it up last time, did he? Yeah, I think he's going to have to pick it up.
And then his second action is going to be moving an inch, 2 inches. He moves 7 normally, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he'll move 3.5 inches.
No, because he'll move half of that again on his second move.
Oh yes, so he'll move
1.5 basically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This guy is definitely going to pick up the treasure. That's his first thing.
So he's got a little token there now.
Yeah. And this guy has picked up the treasure.
Oh yeah, I forgot it.
So
You've got 4 people.
4, so he's going to move. He already has picked it up, so he can move.
Yeah, he can move
3.5.
about 3.5 and another 1.5.
Can we do the 1.5 now?
Yeah.
Okay, 1.5. So he might get off next turn if he's lucky.
There was
So this guy
on his own.
is going to try and provide a corridor.
Oh, clever. It's almost like you've got tactics.
Yeah, over here though, it's not looking so good.
So you'll see if he can move another inch and a bit back.
Okay,
or
well, I'll leave him there
sideways
for a
right.
moment because it was significant for line of sight, so I'm going to leave him there for the moment.
Okay. So he's moving up. He's there. Archer's moved out here to try and support his little buddy over there. I got you, man! And second actions, so...
Well, he is going to now move the whole 1.5 inches that he can
mighty
move.
1.5 inch runaway.
So he's here, so this is 1.5 inches to there.
As he just drags along this bag of treasure that
We
he's
did
found.
those guys over there, so it's just
so
a
we
shooting.
already moved
And
here.
now I need a change in fortune.
So your archer here is going to be shooting at my thug down here, and I'm in heavy cover, so I get +7 because you moved, and I'm in heavy cover,
Yeah.
and +2, so +7 to me and +2 to you. Yeah.
19!
19. So 21.
21.
I need 13 or more. 9. Well, that was a bit. What's the word?
Disappointing?
Yeah.
Pleasing?
Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah, I can't do math. So I rolled a 9 and I add my 7 to that, which gives me a score of 16, which is a little bit below 21.
19.
Yeah, 19 plus 2, so 21, which means you beat me. It doesn't matter how much you beat me by. We then take your 21, deduct my armour of 10, which leaves 11, and the thug has 10 wounds. So basically, he's off the board.
A good hit in this game is tough.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to call him Archer 1 in case that's important.
So Archer 1, he's taken somebody out, and that was you really wanted that to happen, and that has happened for you.
Yeah.
So that is.
That's how it's done, Aragorn.
Yeah, come on, Aragorn. You suck. Currently, Frankie over here is doing better than you. So that's the end of the soldiers round, and it's on to initiative again.
Initiative again. A 6, no? A
No,
9.
it's a 9, so it's
10, slightly better.
4. Robin goes first. Why does a D8 have a 6 with a line underneath telling you that's a 6? It's not going to be a 9! Okay, so it's wizard phase. Now, have you got anyone within 3 inches?
No.
Oh dear.
No. No, that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure you have.
No, I don't think so.
Bam! You might have in a minute. Right, I'm going to move this back to here.
Oh.
Can you see him? I can look.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to cast a spell.
Boo.
I'm going to cast Push.
The push spell is an 8, and you get +2 because it's an aligned power, so...
Oh, rubbish. 4, and actually I'll take some damage from that, won't I?
You
6
out, so yes, you take 1 damage.
So it's over to you, wizard.
So to me, and my wizard is also not within 3 inches of anybody, so he's going to... I'm going to try and cast Leap again with my wizard, so for his movement he's just going to go... yoink, to try and stay out of the way of all the shooting going on. So he's just going to move to there.
Where does Leap work? Is this about not being able to have a secondary or not being able to have any...
The target can't then have any more action, so if I can cast Leap on him, he won't be able to do anything else this turn. A bit like there's a wizard version for teleport, which is within line of sight. Okay, so Leap is +2 for me because it's an aligned power, so I need a score of 10 on this one. Come on!
16.
Woohoo! So he
can't
gets,
do anything else.
so he gets let down to there, yes, and he can't do anything else this turn. So he's pretty much on track for getting off the board along with his mate over here. I'm going to call them the 2 Barrys. They're just going to leg it now with some tokens. Juicy, juicy tokens. Unfortunately, that's the end of my wizard phase. So, Mr. Robin, it's over to you for your apprentice phase. So your apprentice is going to try and cast glow on this guy here.
It's an illusionist spell, so it's only it's a 10 illusionist spell, so it's only +2. So I need 12 or more.
12 cast?
15.
15, so that casts.
Yes.
What's glow do? So you get +3 on all your shooting attacks now. I think he's somehow got quite a large target on his head. Anybody familiar with World of Warcraft would now be visualising a massive arrow bouncing up and down on his head.
So they're now going to try and pin pushing him. So we'll start with the ranger.
Yep. So ranger, he gets +3 normally.
Yeah, so it's +6.
That's +6 for him, and I get +2 for my fight. So +6.
17.
17. Okay.
Okay, and then he's going to do the same.
Archer as well, so he's on +5 to hit him down there because of the spell. +5.
19.
And I get 17. So that has hit him and has done 9 damage.
Yeah.
So again, he's now down to 1 health left, and that really does underline how lethal shooting can be. If you get 1 lucky round, you can take someone out pretty much.
Yeah.
Round. There. So I'm going to cast Bone Dart on your archer. So that is a 8 normally to cast, so it's a 10 to cast.
Bogart.
No, fails by 5, so he takes another wound. Ooh. Awesome. So that's it, he moved and he stubbed another toe. So that's my apprentice's turn over. So he's moving, he's legging out there.
And then,
with his token.
Should I do his other move now?
Yeah, might as well. Okay. That's another inch and a bit.
Yeah.
It really does slow you down once you're picking stuff up.
Yeah. I think those guys are okay there, actually. They're doing their job. Okay, and this guy can move 3.5, which will take him to there.
And I think his second move takes him off the board.
Second move takes him off the board. You happy with me to do that?
So yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 token. The thief has done his job there.
We've not done what a thief's meant to do.
Over here, the thief can move 3.5.
Yeah. He's got like about another half, an inch and a bit, so he's near the edge.
If only I cheated a little bit there. I got him off as well.
I have not got much choice left to get rid of him. But I have got 2 archers staring at him, so...
Yeah, the chances are good.
I'm going to attempt to pincushion him in a moment.
Yeah. It's very tempting to shoot with that one, so he actually is less of a threat. Less of a threat than this guy can reach. He's actually less of a threat than this guy up here.
Well, either of these two over here.
So I'm going to shoot him, because he's the closest. There isn't a rule in this game about shooting the closest.
I don't think so. I think that's Shadow War Armageddon.
Yeah.
So, you're on +2 and I'm on +2.
Okay.
It's pretty standard bake-off.
A 3!
Hurrah!
Right, well, okay, no point in rolling.
15. Just to rub salt in the wounds.
Okay.
Because even if I had rolled a 1, you wouldn't have been able to do any damage to me.
Damage to you, no. So I am going to just, I think, if I can't provide any cover for this guy, then I'm going to tuck in there and provide cover for myself. Tuck in there and provide cover for myself.
Robin's just changed my mind briefly. He's going to run the archer the other way, so that if the thief gets taken out, he might then be able to grab the treasure and leg it.
Yeah, otherwise it's 2. If he's over here, it's 2.
Yeah.
Two things, and they'll still want me off the board. You can just shoot me again.
Yep.
So at least here I'm touching it if he drops it.
And then your first action will be pick it up, the second one will be leg it off the board.
That's right.
I'll just have to shoot both then.
Fine. Well, that's fine, but that's harder.
So mine is going to be... I've got loads actually. I had hardly anything. In fact, I don't think I had anything apart from my wizards in range. So
This
all
guy,
of my guys
this guy can't move because
he can't move because he got leapt.
Yeah. So
this guy can, so he can move 3,
I'll let you take him
and
off.
he's 4 inches from the edge, or
Yeah.
just under 4 inches. So he's got enough to take him off the board.
That's one down. 2 bits are gone. Treasure gone this turn.
Yeah. So round here, this guy's going to move 6.
Hello.
And then he's
I can't remember how you go into combat. You can't. I can't remember what the rules are.
You have to be within an inch, I think. If you move
Okay.
within an inch, you force combat, and
That's on any move, is it?
Yes.
Okay, right. I know this. Okay.
But then you can't. Attacking is an action, so you can be in combat. You just can't
Okay.
do anything.
So I wouldn't shoot. I couldn't hit you because I've done mine. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I'm going to move within. I'm going to move over here,
Okay.
and then I'm going to force combat there, which
Okay.
effectively just puts us into combat.
Okay.
And this guy's going to. A little bit more wants to run around that way after your visit, but I think I need to try and stop the treasure. So I'm just going to do all of his at once because that's 7.5, which is to there. So that's 7.5 inches. It's just there. So that's all of those guys have moved. Larry over here, he's going to leg it as much as he can. I'm trying to work out if I run sideways first to try and get into cover. So he can move 3 inches and then 1.5, which takes him just to the edge of there. So I'm going to move him around to here for the moment and just try and come up with some way of giving him some covering fire or something before he tries to leg it off the board, possibly over in that direction instead. And then it's my 2 archers. So I've got my 2 guys up here.
Crunch time. You
Yeah.
deserve a bit of luck now.
So they're both going to shoot and then move.
Okay.
First guy's going to shoot at your thief.
Okay.
And I think they're both within range, so it doesn't really matter which one does
No.
what at the moment. So my archer's shoot is +2. 17, so that's 19. Oh,
dear.
4, so
That
19.
failed. So 19, take
What's
away
the
whatever.
thief's armour?
Thief's armour is 10,
So 9
and
damage.
his hit points are 10.
Oh, so he's down to 1. I'm going to have to shoot at him again, even though it could be massive overkill.
Yeah.
I'm going to have
That's
to
like
shoot
mine.
at him.
Down to 1 wound. It's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, so okay, so shoot him again with my other archer, +2. 5. Well, that's not enough to get him. Even though I beat you, it wasn't enough to actually hurt you.
I rolled a 2, everybody. 3 plays 2.
Bottoms.
This game
And then
is-
for my move,
This game is hard.
this guy's going to come round here to that edge there. I don't think it makes any difference, but it takes me out of range of your archer, I think. So I'm going to leave him there.
Okay.
I'm not going to move him. So that's the end of my soldier phase.
Okay, so that's the end of that turn.
It is, yeah.
So it's initiative again.
Initiative. So I get no pluses. 11.
I get +1, 13.
Oh, so Robin goes first. Robin's wizard turn. He's all on his lonesome again. They do rapidly separate unless you're strict.
I don't think one can afford to be strict.
Wizard's gonna
Move this way.
run through that gap there.
And he's going to cast invisibility on himself, which is a 12.
Needs 12. Doesn't get it. Oh, you're going to take a
boost with a wound
to
make it 12. He is now invisible.
What's that mean?
It basically means that he's invisible. So you can't see him, so he can't be targeted. And they last until I attack, cast a spell, or pick up an item of treasure.
So a wizard here, I can see your guy carrying his treasure. So I'm going to attempt to cast on your treasure carrier, Petrify. With it is a chronomancy spell, which means I have +2 to it, and it's a 12 to cast. So I need a 14. No, 9. Hurrah! I can take another wound. So I've sacrificed 5 wounds, and he's now petrified, so he can't move on his next. He can't do anything on his next activation.
Now.
Oh, and I'm probably going to horribly regret that. He's down to 8 wounds now, but that's the end of his turn. Apprentice, activate.
They're going to do their usual not moving thing.
So first action, nada.
Yeah.
Second action.
On your apprentice, casting glow on your apprentice. So it's 12 needed. I failed.
Oh, what was that?
A 1.
1. So as you can see in the table here, Robin failed by between 10 and 19. We're not really sure how 20 plus happens yet, but he failed between 10 and 19, which means he takes 2 damage.
Ouch.
Our casters suck.
Okay, so now they're going to shoot. So they just gets +3.
And this is all on my...
You've got a, I would say your soft cover there.
Okay. Oh no. I rolled a 10. I rolled less, but 10's not enough to hurt him.
It's just +2.
The other was +2 on it.
17.
So this could do something.
Yeah,
I don't get any pluses here. Oh no, I've got soft cover, so I get +2. 8. So 17.
Right, doesn't matter, isn't it? 17 plays.
17 minus my armour of 10 is 7 wounds. So he takes 7 wounds. He's already taken 8. He's down to 8. He's down to 1. He's in trouble. He's in trouble.
Your turn with your...
my apprentice and... nobody else? No. My apprentice is suddenly in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. Do something. So I'm going to use my move to move to there. So he's hopefully out of the way of line of shot of your...
He's out of line of these guys.
Yeah. And his other spell, he's going to attempt to cast Steal Health.
No.
Because I figure if I can kill your thief, your archer's going to have to grab and run.
Yep.
So, Steal Health is a casting level 10, and he's got +2 because he's an apprentice. So it's just a spell to start with of 12 casting value. Failed, and that's enough to take him out.
Oh, Pete! That's a 3. That's a 3. That was a risky start. I hadn't thought of that. I keep forgetting you take damage. Oh no.
So my apprentice is down. Probably not out, but we'll find out after the game. So now it's the other soldier phase. So I guess there's an easy one over there for you.
Yep.
And your archer, who had a pretty good idea of who he's going to shoot at now, has no target because he killed himself. So he's moved into combat there.
This guy can't.
In fact, I don't think you even need to move. You just force combat. I don't think that's an action.
Okay.
So.
I wasn't sure, so force combat there, so there's 2 on 1.
Yeah, I think he just moves in.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so your guy over here can't move because he's been petrified.
Yeah.
Which is one spell I managed to get off. But even then I had to wound myself heavily. So there's combat over here with these 3, and then there's the shooting over here between your archer and my currently glowing guy.
Or shall I take the wizard?
Or possibly the wizard's going to get a shot at now, so... Okay, so you did move, so that's a +1 for me, so I'm on +3 and you're on +2 against my wizard.
2.
Doesn't really matter, but 18.
Now the wizard's getting lucky.
Oh, good. I'm glad you saved it for now. Okay, so we're going to do the fight here. Both these guys get a +2 for helping because they're effectively helping each other against my lone thug here. So we're going to do one and then the other. So Robin, you get +4.
No!
6. I rolled not very much either, so neither does enough to hurt the other. Second combat.
No! No!
Oh dear!
So
20.
20, so that's 20 take away. I think that's probably killed my thug.
So 20 take away armour of 10. Probably leaves you with takes 10 wounds.
10 wounds, thugs had 1.
So thugs had 10.
So it's killed him.
So he manages to take one of those guys out single-handed.
Nice, well done.
Another little weird little inconsistency is because it effectively means my skeleton got 2 attacks against each of your guys' 1 attacks. And if I had a really lucky set of rolls, I could effectively take out 2 or maybe even 3 people if you roll as woeful as you did there every time. So, bit odd, but I guess you get the bonuses for having helping people, so the more people you get, the more of a plus you're going to get. But still, a little bit odd, but we'll see if the errata changes that at all once we have a chance to read up on it. So this guy's going to move, he's within 4 inches of the edge.
Yeah.
So he's gonna leg it off. The 2 barriers have done their job. He's going to move around here a bit more into the cover, and just curl up into a ball and scream. That's kind of all he's going to do. And these guys, he's just going to stay there and he's going to shoot at your archer down the bottom. And he's going to move 6 back to the edge here so he can shoot your archer down the bottom as well. Slightly out of sequence, but doesn't make too much odds at the end of the day. And then I've got my knight over here I'm going to do in a moment. In fact, I'll move him now because he's going to move up. He's going to move up 5 to force combat, and then I'm going to kick off there with another fight in a moment. So I'll do shooting over here with my archers. So the guy who didn't move is on +2 and you're on +2 as well. So my +2, 12.
3.
So I beat you and you take 2 wounds.
Okay, 2.
The archer who moved is going to shoot over there, so he's on +2 and you're on +3 to defend. So +2, not enough.
Hit, but didn't do any damage.
Yeah. And then we're on the combat down here with my knight on your thug.
Okay.
So the knight is fight +4, so +6 because he's got his mate helping him out. So +6, 9. Ooh, you beat me.
I get 11, so probably nothing doing.
No, my armor's 13, so my knight did nothing. Okay. And then the other guy, thug on thug, I get +4, you get +2. 5. Here comes the 20. 7.
14.
12. So you beat me, and that's enough to cause 4 wounds to him. So 2 times multiple combat hasn't gone the way of the person who outnumbers them. It's a little bit bit strange. How do we manage to take so long to play what should be a really short game?
Recording it.
It is recording it. It does actually add.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when they say, you know, the camera adds £10.
Sorry?
And
incompetence came the
probably,
disembodied voice of the banshee.
But it is, recording does add a long time because you're going through and explaining. And after the first few games, we're not going to go into the detail of it all. We're just going to be saying, 14 to cast, and roll d20. Oh, that's +6, and we're not going to do that as much. But we figure for the first few games, as much for ourselves as for you guys, we want to make sure that we, get everything right.
Yeah.
So that's why it takes so long. And we decided to have a little bit of a tactical withdrawal, both sides.
2 treasures
hands
each.
in the air.
Not bad for a first game, really, or second game,
bad,
but
not
not
bad.
bad. I think we had a bit of a traumatic day, would be an exaggeration, but it's surprisingly hot in the UK.
It's very warm, which means it's about 20-ish.
Yeah, which we're not used to.
I'm even in shorts. No one wants to see that.
My day took a lot longer to get through than I expected to. I wasn't as set up either.
It was slightly delayed on start.
And I had to go out in the middle of it and pick up my son as well. So normally those things don't happen in a game.
But such is a geek dad's life. Sadly, yeah.
But I think on balance, I enjoyed it. I'm not sure whether I enjoyed it just because my dice rolls were a bit better than yours.
I think we both had equal levels of suckiness at points. I mean, yay, my what's his name? My trainee, my apprentice managed to take himself out, and we'll find out later on, obviously, because we've got all our post-game rolls to make what effect that will have on him for next time.
We won't do those now. We'll do those between.
We'll do them off camera and we'll detail them afterwards as to what happened on that one. But
we might. No, we won't do that.
You forget just how bad, if you cast some bad rolls, how much damage you can do to yourself.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a risk me getting my wizard to.
Yeah, if I'd hit him with that 2, I'm on a 2 heavy.
Yes, if you'd have hit him with even decent, he was only on like 4 or 5 wounds left. You could have taken him out. So
although
it's tricky.
I thought I had that sorted over there. I had my cover and I had somebody on the ball,
a corridor
as it
set
were,
up.
and I thought I've got you. And then you sneaked in a spell over here.
Yeah, to paralyse him for a turn.
And then I thought, well, even when I thought, 2 on 1, I've got you, and actually 2 on 1 is not really that.
That's a bit odd. I'm not really sure. I mean, we've got to check to see if there's anything been rewritten about that in the errata or anything, and let us know obviously in the comments if we've missed something. But at the minute, you've got 2 guys on 1. Yeah, you get +2 to help you in the combat, but the other guy effectively gets 2 attacks, or if he's got 3 guys on him, 3 attacks or 4 attacks. So it really doesn't.
And there's not. Yeah, but do you get +2 for each extra person?
Yes.
So
if you was 3
really
on 1, you'd have 4 +4.
And I think the chances are you would lose one of those.
Chances are, yes, but you had some lousy rolls when it was you, and I had equally lousy rolls when it was me, and so we both lost the combats, even though we outnumbered the opponent. So
which is interesting.
A bit odd.
Yeah. I think it's
sure
almost like you shouldn't be able to do any damage after the first or something. So you still roll.
You can only do damage on one of those.
Yeah, exactly. So you still roll, and if you get higher, I don't do any damage to you.
Yeah.
But actually, you can't kill one of them.
Yeah.
But maybe that would unbalance it. I mean, you guys probably got more experience than us. So
are we doing something wrong there? Let us know if so.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think we're playing it by the letter of the rule from what I can read. And
yeah, I think so. I had a quick look in the things I printed out for the errata, and there wasn't anything in there. So I think that's how it is. And if that's how it is, that's how it is. It just means you have to be even more wary about going into combat.
It could just be that we had a bit of a wacky roll in that you rolled like 2 and a 3 or something really low on your 2 attacks, and I rolled really high, and then vice versa. I rolled appalling, and you rolled really well. So
I sort of like that. Even if you lose closely, but it's a high loss, you're still absolutely stuffed.
I'm not sure.
I sort of like it.
I'm not sure. It speeds the game up because you haven't got another damage roll. So it doesn't matter what you roll.
I'm not sure ultimately it does speed the game up because you would hit more often, I think. If I rolled a 3 and I hit you, because you rolled a 2 and then I damage you, we would get through combat quicker. But if
possibly, yes.
Half the numbers I score, I don't do any damage. And then I'm not sure it does.
I can see how removing a damage roll speeds the game up by removing dice rolls required, but at the same time, if you have a game where you're just rolling like 4s and 5s the whole game,
which we did in a lot of the game,
your opponent might roll lots of 1s and 2s, but it's not enough.
And it makes shooting quite weak because there's no comeback, but at the same time there's no risk.
There's no risk to it, so that's the upside.
And actually, shooting worked out quite well for me in the end.
Yes, shooting can be quite dangerous, and it's nice to have lots of.
It's pretty neat for the illusionist.
See, I saw glow. I didn't actually read the stats.
Plus
what
3,
it does.
and I am an illusionist as well, so it's only a difficulty 10. And it gives +3 to shooting.
Yes.
It works quite well. I mean, I did deliberately pick. That's why I picked 3 archers. Rangers
sneaky.
better than knights. I think they might be.
You reckon? Well, the shooting means they can get.
We
didn't
start
really earning their money.
and we didn't really explore them that much. And again, we don't have as much experience. But I just feel like the knights in our last game, I know they're +4 to hit.
And their armour 14.
Yeah, okay, well that is
pretty,
maybe we didn't play long enough to see.
I don't think in our last game the knights really got into combat. So
okay, ignore me then.
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I
but
just felt that
your ranger is going to start getting
a
used.
bit combat actually. I suppose it's a risk thing again. I just felt like actually you did nothing and you're in quite a reasonable danger of being killed.
Well, yes, there is that. That is true.
Whereas the ranger hasn't done a huge amount, but he's not in any danger of being killed.
No, but having the sniper towers with archers in, right, my guys and the ruin, and you've got your guys in the tower, that definitely does. It does make you think twice about where you're putting people on, and when you do forget, it does punish you because your opponent can really snipe
quite
you.
Powerful keeping the apprentice up there. There were times when I thought, oh no, I haven't done this right because you were running over the board and you were going to. I thought, oh God, you've got to get all the things, and I've got it's 3 turns to get down the stairs, and I can't do it. But actually, because that group there always went not first, but once you'd spread out, they always You always
had those guys together,
and they shot.
And I kept getting to keep my guys together. Well, not forgetting.
It's hard to keep together. You can't. It's hard. You can't do both.
Lots of people do their secondary moves and start sprinting off, and you always want to cast spells with your wizards and your apprentice, although once they start getting low on wounds, I guess you're going to stop doing that as much because you don't want to risk it. But
I enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the off thing, getting some more
Yeah.
gold pieces.
Yeah, because we've each got 2 treasures, so that gives us
maybe getting
various
some
amounts.
experience and getting a little bit better.
And this is the thing I think that this will have over the not Shadow War. It'll have over the AOS skirmish game, because from what I can see of the AOS skirmish game, there are no skills or experience or anything.
No.
You get more guys.
Right. Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's kind of almost how they've always done it. I know Mordheim was different.
Mordheim was very different. That was all skills and stuff
But
again.
The Warband stuff for 40k was like that.
Yeah.
But,
and there was I read an announcement that they're doing another Warhammer Fantasy roleplay. Yeah. Be still your beating heart.
Games Workshop.
Yeah. Games Workshop in alignment with another company. I didn't see a lot. It was a very small article, but it said they're doing another one. So,
Wow, I'm on record saying I don't think it'll happen. 4, I think.
4?
4 Fantasy Flight.
Oh, Fantasy Flight did 3. Well, no, because that was officially Wolfram 2, because we played that.
No, Wolfram 2, that was Green Ronin.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So this will be 4. But I think this is back in conjunction with Games Workshop, from what I read.
Well, yes, because they bought the rights for it.
Yes, so...
Unsold the rights, whatever. I'm very excited, Pete. You've made my evening. Why didn't you tell me at the beginning of the evening? I'd have been on the
I read it whilst we were having a break, and you were off making tea.
We were
or
on a
something very
break.
important. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see when that comes out. Although we can't really video that because that's
No, but I will definitely video. I will hopefully video.
Be interesting to see what they're going to do with it, and I don't know if they're going to go the same way as AOS and the new version of 40k and
I need to
stuff,
read about
and
that.
streamline everything. Who knows? But
Well,
back
what
to
I was
this.
going to say when you
sorry.
talk about the AOS is,
Yes.
of course, this is £15 and the AOS rules are only a £5.
Are they only a £5?
Sorry, and they're £8, but no,
Are
they're
they-
£6. They're £6, but I've got them.
£8,
I've got them for a
£6.
bit less.
So
Sorry.
£7.
No, I'm going to say they're a £5. I think they're a little bit more if you buy them from Games Workshop. But
So 5 to 10 quid somewhere around that sort of.
No, I
region.
think I'll pay £4.80 for mine.
Oh, you've already ordered them, have you?
Yeah, so it's 20% off.
Okay. So it must be 6 quid then,
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's
Yeah.
6 quid.
Yeah. Okay. That's math, kids.
Yeah. So
Maths.
So you can pick them up for a £5, whereas this is 15.
That's not bad. And this gets you a lot more. This gives you all the because there's a campaign in there which we're going to be playing through, and it also gives you all of the skills and the spells and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be doing all that as well. We also need to roll for our injuries to find out what happens to our guys, because I lost a thug.
And
You've lost a thug, I think.
So,
You
yeah,
lost a thug?
I
Oh yeah, I took out a thug in combat,
lost at the end.
and you shot one of my
Your
thugs.
apprentice.
My apprentice managed to do himself in, so I wonder what happens with that one.
We should quickly say we played on the if you like the map, we played on
Yep.
Cut Studios map again.
And it's the specific Frostgrave.
Yeah, well, I got a
thingy bowl one.
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, yes, they do a frosty bowl, which they say is for Frostgrave. But because we're hoping to play Guild Ball as well, I bought the one with the Guild Ball markings. They do it without the Guild Ball markings on and with them. But I actually thought by the time this is covered in scenery, you won't tell.
You can't
it's a
tell
football
that
pitch.
much. No, not
So you
really.
can't really. And actually, like this bit in the middle,
It's
just
not actually like a football pitch, like say
No.
Blood Bowl, where you've got the cleared markations. This has some lines drawn on it and some circles and things, but there's not a.
So that's 3x3. It's quite compact. I think I wouldn't want
It
any
was quite a
bigger.
good game. Yeah, I think that was a
it
decent sized
bigger.
game. That, and we've got lots of scenery here, and that helped because lots of blocking. You can't just stand there, because I think our first game we were fairly light on scenery, and I think that game was. It wasn't fast in this, but
I
people got
sprayed
shot
some
more.
cardboard boxes earlier. That's
That'll do the trick.
yeah.
Lots of scatter terrain, got some forest, all other bits and pieces. So that works quite nicely.
Yeah, I like the board. The board looked good.
Yeah,
And the minis look good, and they're all painted, which is nice.
mostly.
Much easier to do with 10.
It's easier to see. Yeah, 10 models makes it a lot easier, and that's kind of the way things are going. Because we're going to have, at some point, we'll do some other campaigns with some of the other games that we've got, and just try and make things a bit more cohesive and a bit more storied.
Like cohesive image is always going to play under.
Pretty much. Or Skaven.
Maybe or Skaven, yeah. So thank you for watching, and we will be back with Frostgrave at some point, although we have other things to do as always. We've got some Dark Souls and some Shadow War Armageddon to bring to you, but hopefully we can get our... I thought, we'll get a couple of games of Frostgrave in tonight, to continue the last one went, but no.
Well, we'll like I say, I think as we summarise less as we play,
the time will come down.
It'll speed things up more. And of a good afternoon, if we start on time and stuff, and we're doing well for timings, I think we could almost get 2 games.
Yes.
In, but
Although next time we have more complexity because the scenarios have things like creatures
Oh yeah, where things
move
come
their
out and
own
stuff like that,
volition,
which
so-
would be quite interesting.
which would be good. And actually, I think it would also be fun to play this game with 3 people. You get more treasure on the board if you have 3 people. You get 3 items per person.
Yeah.
Always fun playing a 3-way. So
I think if you get 3 people in, you get more treasure and stuff.
You do.
So that could make things even more interesting.
So we've got Frostgrave coming, and of course the big announcement about Warhammer 40k coming out on the 17th of June. Was it? 17th of June? Yeah. So pre-order on the 3rd. So hopefully we'll have talked a bit about that by then. I'm pretty just giving that away, but yes, hopefully we will. As we can say anything coherent because it's 11:45.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna dash off and do that. We'll do a quick not wardrobe change, and we'll see you in our next video.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers. Bye.